Very good evening. Respected Shanawazji, former Minister, Central Minister, and dear friend, and respected Nishikantji, Honorable Member of Parliament, respected Harry Deolji. My special thanks to all of you having given an opportunity to me to speak and listen to you all. This is my second visit to IPPI. The right topic of this evening is growing aspirations of the 1.25 billion people. As an introductory remark, Mr. Harry rightly said it. If you want to see India as we dream of the superpower of 21st century, we need to meet the people's aspiration. How do we meet those people's aspiration? We have chief guest today, the Honorable Minister, Mr. Gadkari, eloquently spoke. But my dear friend Nishikantji himself pointed out some of discrepancies when the Honorable Minister has spoken about it. We all agree that ours is a agriculture-based or rural-based country. Over 70% population still lives in rural India. You did mention about how agriculture is unsustainable, how the agriculture, about the price which the farmer getting, and the Bombay example which he gave, it shows the farmers are not getting minimum supporting price and hence it's not sustainable. But same time, he said last 70 years, how the agriculture was neglected. That's the reason people are moving to the cities. Mr. Harry has rightly pointed out, 62 people of this planet holding the wealth of 65%, no, 1.5% of the population. How this is sustainable? I belong to the Congress party with the 10 years of experience in the parliament, by profession a lawyer, practicing in New York for 14 years, returned to India to serve the nation at the peak of my practice. And now I'm national spokesperson of the Congress party. It may not be repetitive, but I would like to remind briefly, not taking too much of time. The Congress party has understood the aspirations of the people, be it during independence struggle, participated in the people's aspiration, and taken the people along with work towards the independence of this great nation. Pandit Nehruji, the first Prime Minister of India, built those modern temples of development, IITs, IIMs, space, and the agriculture also. During 50s and 60s, the agriculture revolution. Later part, if you look at 70s, where Srimati Indira Gandhi, the late Prime Minister, understood the aspirations of the people, nationalized the banks, which used to be only the privilege for few, but by nationalizing, a common man today, the government of the day claims over 62 crores have opened an account with a zero balance. That's also an initiative taken way back in 70s by nationalizing the banks. When it comes to 90s, then is the Rajiv Gandhiji's initiative of telecommunications. Mr. Gadkari rightly mentioned, during his younger days, he used to spend 66 rupees for a minute call. Now it has come down to 40 paisa, at maybe free. And my friend Mr. Nishikant also mentioned about the success in telecommunications, which is initially started by late Rajiv Gandhiji, computerization also. We have seen in those days as a student, Vajpayee came in a bullock cart to protest against the computerization or IT industry which was introduced by Rajivji. But today we have seen the Prime Minister of India very freely tweets and he has second highest followers, which is using the IT or telecommunications. So these are the policy. What I believe, the policy change is a key for the development. How those policies have changed at the times. The Congress has always stood by the times and the people's aspirations. If you look at in the 90s, late Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh ji, the economic liberalization, today we're celebrating 17th year of independent power producers of India, another backbone for development of India, bringing PPP model, public-private partnership. Though Mr. Gadkari critical about spending 70,000 crores to buying an aircraft, but today he could able to go to his national executive because of those flight connectivity which is created during the UPA government. So coming to the quick few points, though we talked about development here, but still 300 million population living under darkness. Though my friend mentioned about Rajiv Gandhi Vidyutkarana, I would like to mention, it's not my story, this published in the newspaper also, how the new Deen Dayal Vidyut Yojana scheme, the Honorable Prime Minister has launched, claiming that after 70 years of independence, a village in Nagela, Patela, of electricity has been provided. By just in fact there was, the wires were connected and poles were erected. There's no electricity. There's another gaon in UP, Haldukata in Uttar Pradesh, where again the government of the day claims that it has been electrified, electricity has been provided, but same, there's just wires connected, poles erected, but there's no electricity. So let's not get into the corruption part or how the over 108,296 villages has been provided electricity during UPA 10 years rule, 12,000 per year, 18,000 villages provided in 2009 and 10, 12 and 13. In the current NDA government claiming over 7,014 villages been provided in the past 13 months. It's not a big deal. Compared to it's not much. The foundations laid during the UPA government by Raichur to Solapur in Maharashtra, where the southern grid connected the national grid. One grid, one nation, which is foundations laid by the UPA government during Manmohan Singh ji. So these are the facts which one cannot forget it. But we need to agree, every party who are in power, they do their best for development, but still the fact of the matter today, over 50 million people, houses, still live under darkness. If the whole saying we grow up, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, bring me from the darkness to the light. So today, my question to the regulators here, and my friend Siddharth, you can moderate, and how, in spite of the big claims by the Honorable Minister, followed by my BJP Member of Parliament friend, and probably my colleague Mr. Shanawaz may be rebut, but the facts remains, the foundations laid, policies have changed, policies have brought, those are the key for the development. Those policies has to be inclusive. Development was our motto, not divide the nation. Today, the development is not inclusive. The development of NDA model is more divisive. Development of NDA model is start programs with a big fanfare, start mobile application, which is policy started by the UPA, and monitor on a day-to-day. That's not real development. The facts speaks differently. How the aspirations of change, see the bad example in Delhi government, where the Chief Minister came to power by rightly tapping the aspirations of the youth, but now the Delhi government, how you see the corruption, scandals, the Chief Minister of Delhi elsewhere, including to Goa, but not in Delhi, when he needed most. So these aspirations should not be misutilized. The aspirations of Achedin, which is promised by the Honorable Prime Minister, but in 2.5 years is past, he asked 60 months when the Congress was given 60 years. that is said it will bring a change, but unfortunately in the past 2.5 years, Patels are hesitating in Gujarat, Jats in Haryana, and various parts, the other groups are hesitating, Dalit enterprise in Gujarat. So the policy of change for the development should be inclusive, should not be divisive or divide. I appeal all of you to be part of this change, meet the aspirations of our great nation. I am here not only as a politician, but as a citizen of India, while appreciating the good work done by the current government, but at the same time, being in opposition, being in a democratic country, democratic development go together. It is my fundamental right to raise the anomalies in the government, false claims by the government, and asking is a fundamental right in a democracy for every citizen, including you and me. And party in power has a duty and responsibility to respond. The people of India, the citizens of India, if they want to make this great nation to be superpower, the government has to be responsive and responsible. Don't make false promises. If you do meet requirement of the growing aspirations of the people. Should be, must be inclusive in a democratic process. Thank you, friends.